So I've been driving the refreshed Tesla Model 3 Performance for over a year now. The 1-year review is on its way, along with the 1-month first impressions on my new 2026 Model S Plaid. But this video is all about the accessories and mods for my Model 3. And by extension, the Model Y refresh, as most accessories that fit one will fit the other. However, if they are different, then I'll have the different ones linked down below, along with just everything else that I talk about in this video. And if you're ordering from Test Stuff, you can use code LABOR25 all caps for 15% off your entire purchase as part of our early Labor Day sale. So let's first start with what I would consider the day one essentials. In fact, if you watched my delivery day video, then you'll know that one of the very first things I put in my car was all-weather floor mats. I've been using this brand of all-weather floor mats for years. I had them in my Legacy 3 and now even my Model S. And keep in mind, I experience all 4 seasons and they've held up phenomenally. All I do is just spray them down with a pressure washer. Like, I don't even add soap or anything, and then I just let them dry. Now, these are not your traditional thick rubber floor mats, otherwise known as TPE. They are XPE. For one, the fit is just far and away better compared to TPE. Dare I say it's a perfect fit. Secondly, they clean up easier. Third, they have a multi-layer design with the center layer being XPE, which helps absorb road noise coming up through the floor. And as it's an EV, that really helps with the just overall cabin isolation and like sound coming through due to the absence of white noise coming from an engine. And fourth, I think they just look better. The fit, the design, just everything about them I prefer over TPE mats. The set that I'll link down below includes the driver, passenger, and then the rear passenger mats. However, if you want extra coverage in addition to like the cabin, then you can get the extended set. This includes the front trunk, the trunk well, the trunk mats, and then the back of the rear seat mats for the Model Y Juniper. The Highland 3 doesn't actually come with them, the extended set. However, after like the last accessories video I made and a lot of people asking for rear seat mats for the 3, I will actually have them linked separately. Now, the next thing I did on day one was install a screen protector, or should I say screen protectors, as I have one on the front and rear screen. I've actually had a screen protector save my screen not once, but twice. Some of you all actually know this story. I took it in for service. It was getting a dashboard replacement. Thought that they had broken the screen, but the screen protector actually saved it. And they were super cool about it. They actually offered to pay for the screen protector. They just wanted me to send them the invoice. I told them, don't worry about it. I had extras. And they actually ended up giving me like a Tesla service hat that I keep in my 3 now. And if you read the manual, you may be surprised to hear that they offered to pay for it, considering that the manual actually tells you to not use a screen protector. And after speaking to some Tesla reps, that's not because they, want to sell you $1,000 screen replacement, but instead because people were installing like those really cheap thin films and not tempered glass screen protectors. Also, I have a matte one, which helps reduce glare while also improving the touching experience due to the oleophobic coating. If you have a newer iPhone or just a phone with like a frosted glass back, run your finger along that. That's what it feels like. I think that feels really good. You can also get them in clear though if you don't want the matte, but I like the matte. And the screen protector I'll have linked down below includes both the front and rear screen together. Rear screen's really useful if you have kids that like kicking the back of your seats, because the screen's like at their like kick level, you know what I'm talking about. So, and lastly, for the day ones, organizers and inserts. Funny enough, Tesla used to include some of these, but stopped around 2020. The 2 I'd recommend the most are actually the ones that they stopped including: the sliding center console and the armrest insert. It's an EV, so it has great storage, especially up front, as you don't have like a gearbox and like a tunnel running through the car. So now it's all just open space. Without these organizers sitting there, it's just a gaping hole ready for you to lose just everything in. The ones I have match the interior lining of the center console and armrest, like that carpet material, and have cutouts for wires to pass through. Other inserts include this cup holder. Yes, Tesla did finally add rubber grips by default to your cup holder, but you can't take them out, meaning cleaning it is a big pain. Plus, I just like the way the top of this cup holder insert looks. Under the armrest, I have this hidden storage box, great for keeping, stuff like maybe your registration folded up or your insurance cards if you don't want to keep them in your glove box. But in reality, the best part about this is that it stopped the annoying squeaking. This is actually a pretty common issue. You push down on the center part of the armrest and it squeaks, or at least it was when the refresh 3s were first coming out. If you're having this issue, getting one of these like hidden storage under the armrest boxes could actually help, as it did with me. I also have these door liners. The door pockets on both the 3 and Y now are carpeted. And while, it's great for sound isolation, it looks good, you spill a drink in there because, these are cup holders. It can be a little annoying to clean. So if you put these in there, you just take them out, wipe them down, you're good to go. And then lastly, for the inserts, I have trunk bins. It just really ties the trunk together, as the new 3 now has bins on both sides. The new Y still has them on both sides, just like the legacy Y. And it just helps with organization. The lids match the rear trunk lining perfectly, so they look OEM. Next up is my dash cam and Sentry mode storage device. Yes, I am still 4 years later using the same 1 terabyte Samsung T7 that I used in my original Tesla. It's held up great, 150 plus degrees inside the car on hot summer days and sub-zero winter nights sitting in my garage. No problem at all. It's easier to take in and out thanks to not having to reach all the, if you've had to take out the dash cam stick in the newer 3 and Y, you know how annoying it is. With this, it's a wire, so you just unplug it from the wire and then you're good to go. So you only got to do that ham gymnastics one time to put the wire into the USB on the car. It also has more storage, plus I just noticed less playback skipping compared to the USB stick that comes with the car. My radar detector is next, as I get a lot of questions about it. I have the Uniden R8, which if you're new to radar detectors, right, maybe you're just looking to buy your first one, this is the top of the line one from Uniden. There are other brands like Valentine and Escort, which I see people talk, really highly about, but for me, I've used, have experience with, and recommend Uniden. When I tell you this thing catches speed traps from 2+ miles out, I'm not joking. I've never gotten a speeding ticket despite how easy it is to speed in the Performance 3, more so in the Plaid. I have the R8W in the Plaid. Even the slowest Teslas are still really easy to speed in. There's instant torque. There's no sound of an engine. So you kind of know how fast you're going, or if you're speeding up or slowing. Yeah, not saying that everyone needs one, but if you need one, well then you know. As for how I have mine mounted, all neatly, I have a video on that here on the channel. It was on my Legacy 3, but the process is exactly the same, excluding one thing, which I pinned a comment about in that video that you can see. It just has to do with the ground. It's hardwired in, so when I get in, it auto turns on, and when I get out, it auto turns off. After owning this R8 for the last 3 years, I'll never not have a detector for as long as I live. My phone mount, which is actually a newer addition. It attaches to the underside of the door handle, and in my opinion, this is the perfect spot to have your phone for a few reasons. It's low profile, so if you have your windows down, you don't got to worry about the wind catching it behind it and knocking it off, or someone seeing it running up to your car and trying to snag your phone or something. It's adjustable, so if you want it lower or higher, you can do that. It's also made of alloy, so it feels super premium, and the MagSafe magnet is seriously strong. I've done multiple pulls from a dig and it does not move. I'm not a fan of those wireless charging phone mounts, as I've said many times here on the channel, as it just adds an extra cable running through your car, along with the fact that you already have a wireless charger, plus your USB-C ports can do 60 watts, which is gonna charge you up much faster anyway. I would rather temporarily just pull out the cable. I actually have a Cummins USB. I don't know where I got this at. I think it was at some truck stop, that I would just temporarily plug into my phone as it's sitting on the mount, and then 20 minutes later I unplug it and put it away instead of just having a permanent wire running through my car. Also, another thing, I've noticed that with the phone in this position, the car's monitoring doesn't seem to pick up on it. Am I saying that I've went multiple miles of facing forward, but eye staring this way, and the car just does not pick up on it? This thing is great. Big screen on the right plus your phone screen on the left. I think that's the best setup. Now, speaking of the big screen on the right, yeah, mine moves and I love it. This is something I was sad to see they didn't bring down from the S with the refreshes. The screen being pointed toward you really does add to the driving experience. I really do think Tesla will eventually offer something like this for the 3 and Y. Like I said, the S has it, and the old S, the vertical screen, was actually pointed toward the driver. So Tesla knows that this improves the driving experience. Install takes 15 to 30 minutes depending on how confident you are. I've installed several of these rotating screen mounts at this point, so this one took me 15 minutes. And trust me, it's not that hard. And once it is on, honestly, I think it looks almost OEM. Up next are roof sunshades, and yeah, they do exactly what you'd think. You put them up during the summer and they help keep the heat out. They also darken the cabin slightly, which is a big plus for me, at least during those bright summer months when there's just tons of light coming in through the top of the glass. And keep in mind, the less your HVAC has to work, the more range you get. So yeah, putting up these sunshades could literally lead to you getting just more range. Also, I've had some comments saying despite Tesla's newer heat rejecting glass that's exclusive, at least right now, on the Model Y Juniper, people still want these. Apparently, like, while yeah, it does reject more heat, there's still quite a bit of heat that gets in from the top. So I'll have Juniper ones linked down below as well. Now, while we're on the topic of heat rejection, let's talk tint. I have on my 3, on my old 3, on my S, and just recommend a ceramic tint. This is the like more expensive top of the line option, but I definitely do think it's worth the extra money. Specifically, I have XPEL Prime XR Plus, 5% all around, including the full back glass in one piece, and 35% on the windshield. Now, a few pieces of advice for tint. First, if you get white interior, it makes tint look and feel about 10% brighter when it's light outside. So my 5% during the day feels and looks more like 15% that I had on like older cars. At night though, it's still definitely 5%, so I gotta roll the windows down here and there if there's like no street lights around. I personally don't recommend 5%. If I had to redo it, I'd probably get like 10 to 15%, even with the white interior. Third, if full windshield tint is legal, get it. That windshield is huge, and not only will it cut down on the heat coming in, leading to better efficiency, but blinding headlights at night aren't so blinding anymore. In fact, my state, Kentucky, now allows full windshield tint, like no longer just the stripe at the top, and it was in response to just how bright like newer car headlights are. And finally, if you have a Model 3, get the entire rear glass tinted in one piece. Not only does it just look better, but if the shop you're going to has the plotter to do it in one piece, then more than likely they do a lot of Teslas and will do a good job. You probably want to take your car to a shop that does a lot of Teslas. Also, I wanted to mention that Tesla now has like tint built into the ordering experience. And from my understanding, if you do it through Tesla, which is through a certified XPEL shop for XR or XR Plus, and you get the new windshield protection plan they're offering for like $10 to $15 a month, that also covers windshield tint. And windshield tint can be expensive to replace on top of already paying to replace a cracked windshield. And lastly, for the interior, well, I have white seats, so what do I use to protect them? When I first got the car, I applied this ceramic coating from Guyon. Tesla seats are very easy to clean, so if you have kids or dogs and you're worried about like just getting the seats dirty, cleaning them is like super easy, like dirt, spills, whatever it may be. What you actually have to worry about is dye transfer from your jeans or, and if y'all are curious, no, I don't wear pants when I do these recordings. In my case, just black gym shorts. This is pretty much all I wear. And I can confidently say now, a year later, it did its job. In fact, I recently gave these seats a like really deep cleaning and re-ceramic coated them with Guyon again. And here's all the dye transfer that came out. This towel is normally a very bright yellow. So yeah, safe to say I will ceramic all my future white Tesla seats with this stuff. I also used their strong cleaner when deep cleaning, like this is what I used to deep clean them before I re-ceramic them, and I'll have that linked down below as well. As for just normal maintenance wipe downs, fragrance-free baby wipes, I just seal them up and keep them in my car. Exiting the car, PPF, winter wheels, and splash guards. The PPF is a matte or stealth PPF, so the color you see is actually like the default factory stealth gray, but with this PPF, it gives it this matte finish. I think it looks really good in contrast to the like black satin finish around the windows, the performance lip, and rear diffuser. I actually just did a whole video on how this PPF has held up over a year later, as it was a DIY. It took me roughly like 4 days in total, and I saved thousands of dollars versus getting it professionally installed. I used Drive Protected. I'll have them linked down below, along with a discount code for 10% off JMH. And because I talked cleaning the seats, I'll have how to professionally wash your car video that I did a few weeks back as well, linked down below. As well as all the products I use. And it's a rinseless wash. So even if you live somewhere like without access to running water, you can still get your car looking perfect. Winter wheels are my 18-inch T Sportline TS5s wrapped in Michelin Cross Climate 2s. I bought these back in like 2022 for my old Performance 3 and they fit the new one too. I paid like $2,600 to $2,700 and they showed up to my house ready to go, which is one of the reasons that I bought these versus like someone else. You know, they were mounted, balanced. I literally just threw them on and 20,000 miles later, they are perfect. I don't have any vibrations coming through my steering wheel or like the pedal in the floor, nothing. They've been great. They were literally plug and play. I'll probably get a set of these for my Plaid or a set of Pilot Sport all seasons. I haven't made up my mind yet. Splash guards are self-explanatory. They just help with rocks and stuff being kicked up by your wheels. If you don't get PPF, this actually could be a very good thing to also just help protect your paint, as a lot of like the rock chips and stuff you get on the bottom side of your rocker panel, so just from your own wheels. The ones I have are like a screwless design. Do not buy splash guards, or otherwise known as mud flaps, that require you to screw into your car. Don't do that. There are plenty of great screwless options. In fact, Tesla has plugs in the car that are meant for you to put splash guards on. As for the stuff that's not really mods, but I keep in my car, first is a portable tire inflator. I have the X9 Apex from Fantech. Seriously, this, in my opinion, is the best one that you can get for the money. It can pump up all 4 tires on a single charge, doubles as a battery bank, and triples as a flashlight. This is one of those accessories that once I got one, I bought one for every car in my household, and I've given a few out as gifts. I have it linked via Amazon along with a discount code that should save you some money. Oh, and I also use Fantech's little vacuum too. Love it. This thing cleans my car better than my like very expensive Dyson cordless vacuum. I also keep jack pads in my car. If you're unaware, you need jack pads to safely lift these cars, as there are jack points around the battery that you have to insert these into and that allow you to lift the car without the risk of like potential battery damage. Better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. And sticking with rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them, all of my charging adapters. The J1772 adapter that came with my car, and assuming you bought yours new, it should come with your, honestly, even if you buy it used, it should still come with it. These are for level 2 public charging, pretty common in places like a public parking lot, and a lot of the time it's free charging. My only complaint with this adapter is that it doesn't have like a locking function on it, so someone could just walk up and unplug you. So in comes this little thing. I just call it a Karen lock, and it prevents people from unplugging you. You just slot it in between the adapter and the charger and you're good to go. And then the other adapter I have is the CCS adapter. And this just opens up every other charger in the US that hasn't switched to the Tesla port. So the new GM chargers and Electrify America. And I'm not gonna lie, I pretty much never use this thing. Like when you all saw me a few videos ago at that GM charger, that was like the first time that I used this thing in probably a year, if not 2+ years. I also keep my mobile connector in the car, as I now have a wall connector, but prior to that, my mobile connector just stayed plugged in at home, as it was my primary form of charging. As for the wall connector, it's on a 60 amp, meaning I can pull the full 48 amps. However, for daily use, I have it limited to 32 amps and will only put it up to 40 when I need to. And when I do, it absolutely rips, like 10+% per hour on something like the S, which is, 100 kilowatt hour battery. If your place of living is a permanent solution, I highly recommend ponying up the extra money for the wall connector and the install. But if not, a NEMA 1450 receptacle plus the mobile connector should be plenty, and it's a lot cheaper. And then the final thing I keep in the car is this Bucky's neck pillow. And yeah, I've used this more times than I care to admit. But yeah, those are all of my accessories and mods. If you have any accessories or modifications you think that I should check out or that we all should know about, then feel free to leave them down in the comment section. Like I said, I'll have everything linked down below. If you do order from Test Stuff, so like the floor mats, the organizers, the screen protectors, you can use code LABOR25 to get 15% off your entire purchase as part of our early Labor Day sale, which doesn't publicly go live until next Friday. But if you're watching this, then that code starts working right now. If you are new around here and you want to see more Tesla related stuff in your YouTube feed, then feel free to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.